Hi, my name is Christine,
And my name is Mary.
and we are sisters, and we are the co-hosts of the podcast Dawson Cries. And on this podcast, my sister and I talk all about an episode-by-episode recap of the amazing show Dawson's Creek. And we really started this podcast because current events were stressing us out a lot. And on a previous episode, I maybe over-exaggerated how much we're stressed out. It's extreme, but I don't want to paint a picture of dire mental health issues. But I'm sure a lot of listeners out there are equally stressed. And we have to recommend watching Dawson's Creek is a good escapism. And then listening to our podcast, it just adds to the value you get from from taking a little break from the modern news cycle. So this week we're going to talk about episode 5 called Hurricane, season 1, episode 5. And Mary, I know you wanted to talk about the school cancellation. Every high school kid's dream, a hurricane day.
Absolutely. This was one of the most relatable moments of Dawson's Creek for me. Because I wasn't having these whirlwind romances with New Yorkers when I was in high school. But I was waiting on that oh-so-coveted school cancellation. So watching Joey and Dawson staring at the news, listening as other schools were getting those cancellations, and then leaping for joy when their school was canceled, that was a feeling I could relate to.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely related to it as well. And Mary, I don't know if you were in high school at the time. Listeners, I'm a little older than my sister.
I already know what you're going to say.
Do you remember Hurricane Day when we had school canceled?
Yes, and nothing happened. Like, the trees weren't even, the leaves were all on the trees.
A beautiful, sunny, clear day in the spring.
It was gorgeous.
And listeners, we should say, we live in Pennsylvania. We really don't live anywhere near the coast. So, the need to cancel school for a hurricane day was really kind of skeptical, even to us back then. We're like, really? Is it going to be canceled? And then to have, like, a beautiful day off was just, like, amazing. I know my high school friends and I all took pictures outside on the beautiful sunny day. We were like, it's hurricane day. We're not complaining,
you were at the lake,
we love
right?
it. We were at my friend's house, and she has a little pond in front of her house. Yeah. And I think we posed, like, pretending to be blown around by a hurricane.
But it was not the case. You had a wonderful day off.
And it was fantastic.
Well, unfortunately, Dawson's day off was not quite so wonderful.
No, there was a lot of wind and rain and lightning and thunder.
And drama.
Drama.
It was blowing, the drama was blowing around his whole sense of identity and family and all of that stuff. So, first of all, the reverie and joy is very quickly cut off when Weatherman Bob and Dawson's mom show up on the TV screen doing their whole flirtatious "back to you, Bob" bit. And Dawson's mood immediately sours. He can't even be nice to Joey anymore. Joey's trying to keep the moment light. And he's like, yeah, you know what, Joey, mind if I sack? I can't do this.
Yeah, sack. I was like, you already said mind if I bag on you. And
right.
Now, mind if I stack? I'm like, Dawson, where are you getting these?
This is a whole new bit of slang I had no idea existed.
Yeah, I feel like I've heard bag on you before. I've never heard can I stack. Like, okay.
You have? Well, I've heard neither, personally.
Can I bag on you? Maybe I haven't. I guess I just knew. I was like, maybe I've heard that before.
I think you've just heard it on this show, and now it feels like you know it.
Maybe that's
listeners. Listeners, is it true? Did Christine, when he said mind if I bag, did Christine say, I've never heard that before? Because I think she's getting some selective memory about what phrases she's heard.
Oh, dear listeners, it's all up to you. Tell me what my memory is failing to tell me.
Yeah. So everyone's preparing for the storm. People are hunkering down. They're boarding up their windows, securing the porch, being very responsible.
They're being responsible, but they're doing it like kind of when the winds are already pretty strong. I feel like you would have enough lead time where you wouldn't have to like do it in the middle of the end of the world as you know it. Like, all right.
Well, that's the song they played, you know?
It is, I know. That's why I shouted it out, Mary.
That was another great musical moment on Dawson's Creek.
That was a great. I appreciated that. I was like, oh, that's a good song for this moment. But I wanted to get back to what you said about how the moment of the school cancellation was so quickly ruined with Bob. Yeah. I really did like how the moment when they were on screen with what Bob said, or no, it was what the mom said. She's like, "It's a great day to just stay in bed." And then Dawson was like, "Can they be any more obvious?" I thought that was kind of good. Yeah.
That was good. She was kind of brazen with that.
I know. Yeah. It's like, all right. I think everyone at the network knows about you and Bob because you're not.
Yeah, and so does Joey, and she already knows that people know.
Yeah, and she must know Joey's watching.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She doesn't care.
No, she doesn't care. And we can talk more about her later because this was quite an episode for her.
It really was. So anyway, Dawson, he's dropping hints left, right, and center that he knows what's up with Bob because he's sick of, dancing around it. So he sees his mom.
Dawson's a truth warrior.
He's a truther.
He's the truth.
Yes.
He's a truther.
So he goes right up to his mom and he goes out of the blue, totally rando. Dad's a great guy. And the mom's like, yeah, he's a great guy. And then Dawson says something like, somehow Bob comes up. And then the mom goes,
Dawson says that the dad is a great guy. Isn't Dad a great guy? Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, and then the mom agrees.
I thought you said he said Bob was a great guy. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. He says Dad's a great guy. And then the mom agrees, because why wouldn't you? Your dad sucks. And then Dawson said, and then somehow Bob comes up.
Oh, it's because he asked, so who's covering the hurricane? Hurricane Chris.
Right.
And the mom says, Bob.
Says, Bob got it. Like, he got it. It should have been mine because I'm a better weather person. She wants to be like Diane Sawyer, So, anyway, Dawson loses it. He's off the chain. He says, no, Dad's a great guy. Bob is the anchor man. And then the mom says, oh, yeah. And she goes, we gotta get ready for Hurricane Bob. And she goes, Hurricane Chris. And he goes, oh yeah, that's right. The hurricane is named Chris. Bob is the anchor man. Boom.
Boom. Yeah, Dawson puts Bob in his place, simultaneously puts the mom guys. Sorry, listeners.
Oh, I totally lost you.
You totally what?
I totally lost you.
Oh no. On the recording, sometimes it doesn't say that it's lost. I
know, it doesn't. But I swear I'm telling you the truth. So I have to, when I'm like, oh, that's what she said, when I hear it on the recording. I apologize, listeners. My phone, mutes Christine sometimes. And, I know, it's very rude. To test the Android.
What are you doing, phone?
Yeah. But go on.
Yeah, I think I was saying, I don't even remember after that little interlude. Something about...
We were talking about Hurricane Chris, Bob's the anchorman, Bob's in his place.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Dawson really puts Bob in his place and puts the mom on edge. And I said on fucking edge because this is a dramatic episode. And I feel like the hurricane F-bombs are going to be just flying around in the wind.
We gotta give a warning. You've already heard it twice. You might just hear it thrice.
You might hear it thrice. It's true. Listeners,
you know what? Even Mama Leary drops an F-bomb in this episode.
Oh my God, that was my favorite. She
can
like,
say it, so can we.
I know.
She was like,
it's true.
Well, we'll get to it. We'll quote it when
we'll
the
get
time
to
is
it.
right.
We'll save it. And I love, like, when Dawson, can we talk about when he eventually, like, confronts her for real? Can we get to that part yet? Yeah.
Well, we're close. Yeah, let's get to it.
Yeah, it's like, it's the storm brewing, and it just eventually comes to a head. And she is on the phone, brazenly on the steps, like a teenager.
Doing her kissing.
The kissies. I was like, that's so ridiculous.
Girl,
Like,
how old are you?
But I was saying, so the mom is talking to Bob on the phone, kissing, like Soldier Boy, kissing through the phone.
Through the phone. I'll see you later on. Listeners, I never intend to sing on the podcast, but I wind up singing every episode, and I apologize for it because I know it's not pleasant.
I love it. Kiss Me Through the Phone is the perfect
Kiss Me Through the Phone is a great song in life.
Shout out to Soldier Boy.
When you're on the phone, it's good to quote it, I think.
And I'll just say Mary and I are on the phone right now, so it's appropriate.
It is, yes.
Although
we wouldn't be going, because, we're not this crazy Mrs. Leary.
Right.
So you were going to talk about how Dawson totally confronts her.
Yeah, so, he overhears her on the phone. She hangs up, and he is just like, Mom, what are you doing? And I don't remember exactly how the conversation goes, but the mom says something about blah, 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 Bob and I, and Dawson's like, hold up, bitch. It's Bob and me, to be grammatically correct.
Right. Well, totally. Well, first of all, he comes at her like, hey, Mom, I got a new award for you. It comes in the form of a big red A that you're going to have to wear on your chest for the rest of your life. Like, boom, dropping some 9th grade literature knowledge on her. Like,
I love...
you an adulterer.
I love all the literature, like, that gets bandied around in the show. Ethan Frome, I gave a great recap of that last week. Scarlet Letter this week. We talked about some
we have a 20-minute chat about Scarlet Letter this week?
About Scarlet Letter? You know what? I don't think it's necessary. Because I think Ethan Frome is obscure enough that the average listener might not remember the whole plot. But Scarlet Letter, everyone knows it. There was that movie that was recently came out with the, like, I don't know, remember what it was called, that Easy A. Easy A, thank you, Mary. Yeah, it's like, it's still in the pop culture.
I know my Emma Stone.
So I don't think we have to go into the 20-minute lecture this week.
No,
but listeners, if it's true that you would like a recap, let me know. Next week I'll
we can do a mini pod that's just about the Scarlet Letter.
Yeah, we'll break it down for you. We got you.
So yeah, basically the mom is frantic, trying to figure out a way to cover this up because you can't forget you've got Joey's sister, Bodie, the grandma, they're all downstairs. Grandma didn't even want to come. She's like, I've weathered more storms in my time than you can count. And the dad's like, shut the F up and get in the house. Jen's making fun of the grandma left and right. Like, Grandma, Jesus left you a fax. There's chaos happening downstairs. Everyone's riled up. Bodie and Joey's sister are talking about circumcision. Like, they can't decide what they're going to do with their babies. They don't even know if it's a boy, but they're like, we're getting it circumcised. No, we're not. Christine, have you ever had this argument with someone about whether or not you would circumcise your child?
I have not had it about my child, but I will say I live in Washington, D.C., and there a lot of people come here when they're angry and they want to protest the government or whatever their issues are. It's a protest capital of the United States, I'd say. So, if you're walking by the White House, you'll see all sorts of protest groups, some big, some small. And this was like pre-Trump, so, maybe there wasn't as much, to be angry about, depending on your worldview. But, I remember walking past the White House and seeing a group of maybe 5 people really angry about circumcision. Yeah. Like, this was their thing. Yeah. And one man, I'll never forget, he was wearing a bright yellow jumpsuit, like you see on like Breaking
strong
Bad, like a
look.
Walter White type of get up. And he had over his crotch a perfect red circle to protest circumcision.
Oh,
Like,
damn.
strong visual, man. Yeah. So I have never really, I mean, I've had like hypothetical debates about it. I've never thought about it in the context of my own child.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know. What do you think about it? I mean, I know like if you're
Yeah.
Jewish, it's kind of like that's part of your religious culture. So
Right.
that might factor into it. Like maybe Bodhi's Jewish and he's like, we have to circumcise our son. It's one of my beliefs. He didn't bring that up, so I doubt that's the case. But yeah, I don't know. It's not,
Yeah, well,
I
see,
don't have
it's
opinion.
interesting. Like, because I lived in England, listeners, for a couple years, and I was dating a British man. And in England, no one is circumcised. It's just like not a thing. And they all considered it to be like mutilation. And they like were really disgusted that American men were circumcised, and they were all very adamant, like, there's no way we're letting our son be circumcised. It's not right. So, you know, that kind of like changed my, like before I just figured like, oh, everyone does it. And now I'm like, no, it's really not necessary. You know, why you shouldn't do it. So that kind of changed my mind on it.
Yeah, I don't think I would never be like, we have to circumcise my son. I wouldn't be on that side of the argument. The only reason I would feel like, just because most people are here, I wouldn't want him to feel, you know, like weird or like a misfit or something.
Right.
But,
well,
you know, how many
listeners, you can tweet at us.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on circumcision? We'll tweet out a poll.
Yeah, we'll tweet out a poll. You can let us know your thoughts.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Talk about it.
But you say I've seen circumcision protests too in New York City. So you know, those are here too. People are mad about it. It's a hot button issue.
It's a hot button issue, but it's a very small scale issue. Was it a big group of people or was it tiny? Did you see?
There weren't that many. I didn't.
There. Was she on the front
She
line?
wasn't there. It was mostly men. I didn't see any crazy outfits either. It was just signs like, you know, about circumcision. So.
Yeah.
But anyway, we should get back to the show.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna say when you hear about it, it does sound pretty barbaric. Just if you
right,
didn't really
and
know
especially
anything
when you
else
like go somewhere where people don't do it, and they're like, well, they were also really insulted by like, so in America they say like, oh, it's because it's like healthier,
for hygienic reasons,
more hygienic, and they're like, that is so insulting for you to say that men can't even wash themselves. They're that pathetic. And I was like, oh, okay, like that's a fair point. You know?
It does make sense. Yeah, it does make sense.
So anyway,
yeah. We can move on.
We'll move on. So, straight out the gate, there's a lot of drama. There's also drama between Joey and Bodhi and Grandma, because obviously Grandma is like, you know, she's like very against this interracial couple.
Garbage.
She's kind of garbage person. She's like, oh, I can't believe they're mixed couple. And then she's like, oh, like, I'm not even going to look at Bodhi. She's like, when he's introduced to her. And it's like, okay, you're being really rude, you know? But Bodhi's funny. He's got some good, like, comebacks. He's like, he's like mocking her.
Oh, yeah,
which
is
great.
To her.
Yeah, and they stand up for them. Yeah. They stand up for themselves as a couple, which I think is good. They're not afraid of her, which is good. She also like gives him a hard time about. He like tries to give her some advice on her cooking, and she's not having it. She's like, I think I know a little more than you about the culinary arts, and he's like, fight me.
He's like, use some fucking spices. There's my second F.
It's really your third, because you said the first one twice.
It's my third. I mean, she's an old white lady. Of course she doesn't cook with spices. Like, he's trying to teach you.
Christina's throwing it down.
I'm just being really real tonight. I'm like Dawson. Just truth.
Christina's being real. She's a truther. She's here for it.
I'm not a truther, but I'm
not a truther.
Warrior.
Are you a truth warrior? Yeah? Okay.
I fight for the truth, Mary. Nothing else.
Oh my God.
So yeah, Grams is garbage all night. She has like one redeeming moment with Dawson. She says some like cheesy ass quote. If you want the rainbow,
We'll get to that.
you need to.
We'll get to that, but honestly,
We'll
the way
get to
she
that.
does it, it's like she wasn't even listening to Dawson. She's like in her own scene. But anyway, we have to talk about. We really need to get to Pacey and Doug because these are the toxic masculinity of the Witter brothers is on full display, and it is fascinating.
Yeah, I mean more so in Doug's side. He's like, it's interesting. I mean, I like that there's that weird toxic masculinity, extreme macho side to him, but then loves musicals. He just sets off everyone's gaydar. Like he's really.
Well, he didn't actually set off her gaydar. She just said that because Pacey said he was gay. But he's like, I live on Christopher Street. Is that the gay street? Yes, that's the gay street.
I was going to ask you if that's true.
It's true.
It's true. It's true. Mary verified. It's true.
It's true. Yeah, but like, what's his name? Doug. He's like, also, we get a really fascinating bit of knowledge here that I think is going to blow up in Tamara's face later. Pacey's father is the chief of police.
I know.
Bum, bum, bum. I mean, come on. She even says later in the episode, need I remind you, this is a felony? And it's like, yeah, you're going to jail.
Pacey's like, isn't that the turn on? Yeah.
And I'm like, God, I hope not, because that's really even worse. It's terrible.
It's bad. I mean,
it's like, isn't the hot part about this that I'm underage? It's like, oh my God. You guys need to get a grip.
I know. And I also loved how Doug was like, when she was kind of hesitating after he asked her out, is it because I'm too young? She's like, that's not it at all.
She's like, oh no, you're actually a little old for my taste.
Like, don't worry about that, sweetie, yet.
Oh my God. I mean, Doug is really, he's the older brother, so it makes sense that he's bullying Pacey, but he kind of takes it to a place where I did feel a lot of sympathy for Pacey. He says things like this to him. He says, just stop your punk ass whining. Then he says, he said he's kind of the family embarrassment, referring to Pacey. Are you kidding me? Be nice to your brother. He's never cracked a book in his life. Like, listen, dude.
Yeah. What does he call him? A dweb? Or I don't remember. Something
all
like
sorts
that.
of names he calls him. It's like, out of hand.
It's not cool. A klutz, all sorts of stuff. And I'm like, Mary, I'm the older sister. I never call you those types of names. You don't have to be your younger sibling.
You don't. You don't have to be.
It's not a rule.
No, listeners, Christine and I have never fought. Is it true?
It's true.
It's true.
It's true.
We've never had a fight. I remember one day in sociology class in high school, they asked, like, raise your hand if you've ever had a fight with your sibling, like, expecting everyone to raise their hand, and I didn't. And someone who turned to me and they're like, you've never gotten a fight with your brother or sister? And I was like, no. Then this other girl turned to her and they're like, her sister's Christine. And then she was like, oh. Meaning that you're really nice.
Oh, listeners, it's true. I'm very nice.
It's true. She's nicer than I am.
Yeah. Oh, but I like your feistiness, Mary.
Thank you. I'm glad you respect it.
I do. I'm all about it. I just have to be nice to everyone. It's what Dawson would say. That's my downfall.
Yeah. You and Dawson have some things in common.
You know, I was like, do I want to admit this on the pod? After this episode, I'm like, I might be Team Dawson. Dawson's so sweet.
Oh my God, is he though? I mean, he redeems himself. He does redeem himself, but we're not there yet. He's still acting like a jerk.
We're not there yet.
So we gotta wait. Yeah. But I think you are a Dawson. I think I'm a little more like a Joey. Like, I'm gonna call you out. I'm gonna make it all about me. I'm gonna throw a fit.
That sounds kind of accurate.
Christine!
Oh,
listeners, we're getting into have to get
it's
to the
getting real
big
personal.
reveal.
Yes.
Because,
yes.
What is Dawson's mom's name?
Mrs. Leary?
Okay, well, Mrs. Leary is about to tell all. I forget. To listeners, what is her name? Tweet at us.
Yeah, I forget.
She knows it's so much. Too much has happened. The storm is throwing off the electricity, and the truth has got to come out. This is a hugely dramatic moment in storytelling. It reminds me of like a playwriting class I had where the teacher said, you know, there's a really big difference between between a marriage ending and a marriage ending on the night of a blizzard. And like this is a marriage ending on the night of a hurricane. It's all going down.
Wow. I like that, Mary. That was a good share.
Yeah. So, I
felt the magic there. But you're right.
I'm glad.
Like well, first of all, I thought it was very odd that she made Dawson stay. Like she really wants her son in the room when she tells her husband, who is head over heels in love with her, that she's been cheating on him. Okay.
I think
like crazy.
Maybe it was for a bit of protection. Because, like, what is he going to do when Dawson's in the room? And it's true, like, the dad acts like it hasn't even happened until Dawson leaves.
That's a good call. I guess.
Then he goes on a maniacal hunt for a lantern.
Yeah.
Where is that lantern? Where is it?
Yeah, he's like, I'm in denial, hardcore.
Hardcore. He's like, we need batteries. She's like, I'm sleeping with someone else. Where are the batteries, though? We'll talk about that later. This is more important.
I need batteries right now.
This instant.
Yeah, so she spills the beans, lightning strikes, the power flickers off. Oof. It's really dramatic. It couldn't be more dramatic. It's super dramatic. I love, too, like, after that scene's over, Dawson, like, storms back upstairs into his bedroom. He does his classic flop on the bed. I love his bed flops. I'm like, yeah,
I know, he's very
floppy. He's super floppy.
I think if I did that on my bed would break. So I'm not going to be flopsing around.
Don't pull a Dawson.
I'm not going to pull a Dawson.
You can't do the dramatic bed flop.
No.
But Jen's in there, and he kind of spills his guts to Jen, and
throwing darts at the wall.
Oh yeah, that's another thing I would like to do. If I had a dartboard, I would really make use of that.
You would use that. Okay.
I would.
Listeners, Christine's birthday is coming up. Dartboard.
So true. Yeah, send me a dartboard. I would love that. Oh my god. Yeah, but like Jen and him get a little heated. He brings up again how much of a slut he thinks she is.
Oh my god.
And really no uncertain terms. I'm like, please.
He's like, you would defend my mom. You're just like her. I was like, ew. But she stands up for herself.
Yeah. Yeah, she said she'll bite his head off. I was like, good for you.
Yeah. I was like, that's right. You don't get to talk to someone like that and get away with that. Nope.
So she storms out, and then there's a lot of like in the closet references tonight. We wonder, is Doug in the closet? We know Joey's in the closet. She's always in the closet.
She's always there. I was hoping she was going to say the same joke twice, hang him with the clothes.
I know. I was waiting for it.
I know. It didn't happen, but she really does need to. I mean, she says it reminds her of the good old days when they were friends, when they were little and didn't have to worry about their raging hormones.
It's true, and I thought that was interesting because it's like she at one point says, "Oh, I wish we could just like regress back to when we were kids." Back before when sleepovers were okay, when hanging out in the closet and talking about movies was okay. But I was like, Joey, you're the one who kind of wanted to put a stop to it.
Exactly.
But she wants it back. She's regretting that now. I mean, it sucks. Being an adult is not fun. So I get it.
No, it's not.
I get it. But you feel the responsibility. Like, you feel like you must act a certain way and be a certain way.
Totally.
But, sometimes you just have to be childish. just to survive.
What do you think this podcast is all about?
What do I think the what?
What do you think this podcast is all about? Acting childish to survive.
Yeah, oh, so true. So true. And Dawson and Joey, I mean, that's kind of how they get through it in the end.
True.
Not to jump right to the last scene, but...
Exactly. So anyway, back at Tamara's residence.
Yeah, we gotta go back there.
He's throwing caution to the wind. He's openly flirting with her. Meanwhile, Doug is openly flirting with her. They are vying for her attention in a heated battle. She's between two brothers. It's like, has all the makings of an erotic novel. It doesn't get that far. But it's very intense. You know, Tamara's getting attention from... Right, exactly. I'm sure there's a fanfic of that. But anyway.
It was filmed out of the ruins, inadvertently by Dawson.
They're still out of the ruins, yeah. But so Doug is trying to be the big man in the situation. He's trying to get to know her by playing all these cheesy games. He's bragging about being a cop. Eventually he goes outside to investigate a loud noise to make sure that everything's okay. While he does that, Pacey goes nuts, jumps on Tamara, trying to kiss her and whatnot. She's telling him no. He's being like a little Klingon. And he falls to the floor, and somehow everything falls off of the table on top of them. It's a whole big mess. And Doug walks in, and he takes off his coat, and he looks at them, and I think, for a moment, he is suspicious.
Oh, yeah. He had a suspicious look in his eye.
Yeah.
He was mad, too. He was, like, upset. He's like, I can't believe it. My brother is taking my girl.
But I don't think...
look happy.
I don't think he believed it for that long, you know, because he does...
He quickly was over it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then... Right. And then eventually he asks out Tamara, and she thinks he's gay at this point, so she says, sure. And he's like, okay, we'll make it a real date. And she's like, well, it's not going to be a real date. And he's like, oh, why not? And she's like, well, I know. And he's like, you know what? And she's like, that you're gay. Then he whips out his gun and points it at Pacey's face. And we talk about the overreaction of the century. Like, holy jeez.
That was an insane...
Real. And you know what? I actually felt sympathy for Tamara for the first time, like, ever during the scene, because you could see on her face how terrified she was. And especially at the end of the episode when she's talking to Pacey about, like, if she could go back in time and change something, she would never have married an abusive fat stockbroker. And I'm, like, wondering, like, if she was the victim of domestic violence, because that's really what the look on her face made it feel like this was something she'd seen before.
That is a great insight into her character. And I think you might be onto something, because not to, like, justify her behavior, but that would kind of explain maybe her attraction to someone so young. Like, well, he's really innocent, probably not a risk to me. She might just feel safer with him.
Right. Yeah, that was my thought, too.
Very interesting. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, it's sad. And then, you know, and then Doug tries to apologize when he's leaving. He's like, I'm sorry about all that gunplay, I think he calls it.
Gunplay, yeah, he did call it that.
Yeah, and then Tamara just goes, hey, like, trying to be like, it's okay, but she can't say it's okay, because it's not okay.
No, that was really bad. Pointing it at your own brother, it was, like, really, really scary, like, over the top.
It was crazy.
And Pacey's like, oh, he does it all the time.
Yeah, Pacey was not even phased.
I know. That was also very interesting. I was like, oh, geez. That's very weird. I mean, I know Pacey eggs him on a lot, but he didn't pull the gun on him when he was really going off on him about being gay at the beach. You know?
Yeah, it was because he was threatened in front of, his sexuality was threatened in front of a woman.
Yep. That was insane.
Ugh. But anyway, back at the Leary household, Mitch is out in the car staring at the rain. The mom comes up. She gets in. The dad goes into this wistful monologue talking about how they met. But it's very, it's oddly, I found it kind of sexist. I think the writers wanted it to be sweet. And they're like, yeah, he met her at the mall and he decided to fall in love with her the first time they met. I'm sorry. Anyone who says they're in love with you the second they met you, that's a red flag. Because that person does not know you. And they love this version of you they've created out of pure fiction, which is just what Dawson does.
Yes. Pacey's more mature than that. He knows that it's not the real picture. And also it's a falsity. Like if the man, he contradicted himself. If he did say like it was love at first sight and also it was a choice, I don't think those two are compatible. Like either you fall in love at first sight instantaneously, you have no control over it, or you make a conscious decision, that's the woman I'm going to love. Exactly. I don't think you could do both. Both of the Leary parents are really contradicting themselves a lot here.
Yeah.
I find we can get into the mom side of it when we get later on in the pod.
But then also when he's doing this monologue, he's like, you were there with your friend who never shut up. And then he can't even remember his name. But then he says that the friend introduced them. So seemingly it was his friend too. And I'm like, that's what you think about your friend? That she never shut up and you don't even know her name? I just thought that was a weird dick move on his part. I didn't like that.
Yeah. I know. And then he dropped the bombshell, I choose to hate you now. It's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. I choose to hate you now. I was like, whoa. I was hoping that they played that music.
Oh, I missed that.
They were playing some weird tonal music when Dawson was on the stairs earlier.
They did some, music montages. Yeah, they did some of that.
That was good.
That was good, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the parents are way less mature than the kids. It's like, you can't really choose your emotions. Like, that's why emotions are so powerful. They just take you over, and you have to, figure out how to either weather them or, not let them phase you or just, get through them. But you can't just choose. Like, I know people do say, love is a choice, and to some extent, yeah, you have to choose to, act a certain way and be respectful and stuff. But I think it's also a feeling, it's not that black and white. So, the dad, but I mean the dad obviously, he does end up coming back. So his choosing to hate probably didn't really work out. Maybe he'll come
that's
to
also
a realization.
Choosing to hate someone, in the long run, it's more damaging to the person who's doing the hating.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's very unhealthy to have that.
Right.
That hatred inside, for sure. Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
So that was intense. And I did kind of feel bad for the mom a little, but, but it was interesting too that both the women, Joey and Jen, both the women in Dawson's life, they also kind of stuck up for her. They're like, well, it's not about sex. It's not what you think. You need a different perspective. Jen was Jen for that.
Had some good insight. These things are rarely about sex. So I was like, oh.
Right. It was very interesting. I was like, I don't know if a 15-year-old would know enough to say. I mean, I guess Jen is. She's been around the block. So she knows.
Yeah.
Jen's got it all figured out by now.
She's world weary. Yeah.
She is, and Joey. I mean, she's had to be world weary too because she's lost her parents.
Yeah, I mean, she reminds Dawson. She's like, at least you have a mother.
Yeah, she plays the mother card.
What have I done? Yeah,
it's true. But I really liked that Joey apologized for that, and Dawson, he saw through it. He's like, no, I don't know what I would do without a mother. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when I kind of felt for Dawson, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was like, it's like, that's
Well, you know what?
hard.
I actually felt for Dawson in his follow-up conversation with Jen, because Jen, they
Oh
survived the
yeah.
storm. She decides to totally lay herself out there, tell him the whole truth and nothing but. She talks all about her first time and then what happened afterwards and all the mistakes she made, but how she learned from them. You know, she takes full responsibility for everything, and she's just being totally honest with him. And,
Yeah.
you know, I feel very bad for her because she's being very vulnerable. It shows how much she likes Dawson, that she's willing to do this. And really, Dawson, he doesn't deserve to know any of it because he hasn't treated her with respect, but she tells him anyway. I will say that
Yeah.
the way they directed her to stand away from him was very awkward because you're staring at the back of her head, but whatever. So, like, they could have used a different angle rather than the over the shoulder because it just looked very weird. But anyway, yeah, so Dawson, oh man, I was holding my breath waiting for what he was going to say, thinking, oh, here comes insensitive big dirty doggy Dawson again.
Dirty doggy Dawson.
But he was actually very sweet, and he said that he would love to have Jen back, but only on one condition, and you can see she's very, like, afraid, you know, like, what's he going to say?
Yeah.
Because that you'll have me because I don't deserve you, and my behavior has been irredeemable. And I was like, good, Dawson. Finally, you're starting to see that you're not the only man in the world, and people have lives outside of their relationship with you.
Yeah. And it was really nice. It's like, I love it when someone can just admit that there's something wrong. Like, it's their fault. It's not the other person's fault. It's like refreshing because that doesn't happen often.
Very
So I
rare.
like that. And I like that he also tied it to like his parents. He's like, it's not you, Jen. It's like not your fault. It's like my parents had this amazing sex life. I kind of took that to mean that they were super happy. It kind of explains why he had this hang up with sex. You know, he's like, if Jen was having sex with all these other guys, she must have been so happy with them. It was kind of like a learning moment for him. He was like, well, maybe it doesn't really mean that. It's not as serious as I think. He's like learning more about life.
Right.
I also really loved in that scene how unapologetic Jen was about her past. You know, she was like, I can't apologize for my past, Dawson. You know, it really, like, I learned from it, and it got me to my present, got me to where I am today, and I hope that you can be a part of my present now. And I was like, wow, you know, 'cause like, I don't know, you feel like she, in some other, like, lesser show, not to say, like, Dawson's Creek is the best, although I do kind of think that. She would be like, oh, I feel so ashamed of how I was back then.
Yeah.
That's where it would go. But she
yeah, I
didn't
mean,
go
if it
there.
was a lesser show, she would be like, please take a celibacy vow with me, and, you know what I mean?
A purity ring, and,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, it was amazing. She's like, I'm not that girl anymore, but I'm not, like, the virgin snow queen either. I'm somewhere in the middle. And I was like, that's where we all are, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, she's real. Yeah.
She's real. Yeah, she's living in reality. And Dawson's slowly getting there, too.
Yeah, he's slowly joining the real world.
He's going to buy an umbrella. That's his on his shopping list.
That's some good advice from Joe.
That was from Graham's.
Oh, Graham's. No, bad advice. I thought earlier. No. Earlier at the very beginning.
Better buckle up
He said,
or something.
Buckle up.
It'll be a bumpy ride. A bumpy life.
Yeah. Buckle up is better advice than buy an umbrella.
And she said it so funny. Buy an umbrella.
Yeah.
Are you trying to be Rihanna, Grams? Because you're not.
Before Rihanna.
Yeah, pre-Rihanna. Maybe that's the inspiration.
But yeah, like, Dawson's like, you know too about my parents cheating, or my mom cheating on my dad. And Grams is like, I've always liked Frank Capra movies. And it's like, hello, are we having the same conversation? It's like, Grandma, stick with the plot. You're all over the page.
She's too old to keep track of it. She's like, what's going on? There's an interracial couple in the next room. Oh
Yeah,
my god.
I really don't care for Grams, to be honest.
I hate Grams. She's garbage.
Oh,
She makes disgusting eggs. Oh. I can't take
We're
it.
just piling on Grandma right now.
Just Graham pylon, yeah. Sorry, Graham.
Graham
But not
pylon.
really.
Sorry. Grandpa's in the hospital, we learned this week, too.
Yeah,
we
he's in the
don't
hospital.
really care because we don't know anything about him other than the fact, but I'm assuming something will happen with it, and then we'll probably care. Maybe he'll wake up and... Yeah, but why even have that in the script if it wasn't going to come back, you know?
Right. That's true. Unless Dawson had to say something to Jen. Like, because it's like, if your grandfather's in the hospital, like, you can't just totally ignore and be a total asshole to the person. You have to be like, oh, there's something really terrible going on in your life. I better just, like, acknowledge it.
Right.
I don't know. You know what I mean?
Well, it's Dawson.
But it probably will. Yeah, it is Dawson. You're right. It'll probably come back. I'm sure his sickness will be an ongoing plot point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jen, Daddy's little girl fornicating in his bed. Woof. I didn't like that line.
That was another example. Fornicating. Yeah, 15, you're not going to call it that.
No, and you're also, I mean, just that whole sentence was very irksome.
Yeah. I also want to go way back and just call it another sentence like that.
Throwback. That who said?
Dawson. He said it, is the proposition of monogamy such a Jurassic notion?
It is.
It's just like, Dawson, let me give you a big hug. Like, you're just
Dawson.
Your words are so funny.
You know what I thought was funny was when Pacey went up to Tamara and he's like, did you feel like you had to flirt with my brother to make me jealous? And Tamara goes, I don't flirt. And I just went, okay, Tamara.
Like, all you do is flirt.
All you do is flirt.
You flirt all day and all night long. True. Listeners, it's true.
Listeners, it is.
Another line, since we're talking about lines, that I liked at the very beginning, when Pacey and Doug were on the beach, and he's like really giving him the business about being gay. He says, well, I hope you live a happy and fruitful life. It just made me laugh.
That was ridiculous.
Oh, just a little.
You know what else I thought was
not to be insensitive
funny
to gay people, but
Joey and Jen are having this conversation again. They're trying to imagine how big Dawson's dirty doggy dick is.
Dirty doggy dick.
And Jen, which one is it? Yeah, Jen starts saying, ooh, so what do you think Dawson's got? A pistol or a rifle? And then Joey gets this crazy look on her face, and she's like,
her face
does have big fingers.
It's like, bitch, we covered this. It's the first
she
thing
can't
I
get
said
enough.
To you.
She's
like,
obsessed.
I'm a size queen, too.
Yeah. I mean, they're really bonding over their love for Dawson.
They are. It's kind of fun. I don't know. It's kind of cute. It's not probably going to end horribly.
Well, yeah, because I think Jen and Dawson are probably going to hook up soon. And then she's going to know. And then is Joey going to ask for the deets? Like, what's going to happen?
Oh, yeah. She's going
to be like, well, Jen, tell me.
Oh, my God. Tell me all about the rifle.
Oh, my God. I
you know who definitely just has a pistol?
Who?
Is Doug. Doug.
Ooh!
You have to be compensating. Come on.
Yes. Yeah, so true. You know what else Doug said that was funny? He said, just because I'm pretty, that doesn't mean I'm gay. I happen to be the straightest guy I know. And also, if you have to say you're the straightest guy you know, I don't think
you're probably gay. Yeah. That might come out.
Not something people say.
Yeah,
I think it might.
Like Joey, he's in the closet right now. Eventually, he'll come out of the closet, I think.
I don't know.
He is pretty. He's got a pretty smile, yeah. He dresses like a village person, but
he also wants to emulate his father, who's the chief of police. Tamara, take note of that information, okay?
Oh.
What you're doing is a felony. You're right about that.
It's true. And if you piss off Doug, he'll probably have no qualms about pulling out his gun and pointing it right at you.
Oh my
As we've
God,
seen, if he can do it to his brother, he could do it to Tamara. Oh, man.
Well, anyway, that was a pretty good recap.
I think so, too. I mean, should we talk about the very end when Dawson, I mean, this is the moment, I feel like Dawson just really felt unworthy of the women, both of the women in his life, like both of his women friends, like Joey and Jen. So he, like, much like he did with Jen, he's like, you know, it's my fault. I feel like I don't deserve you. He kind of did a similar thing to Joey. Like, I want to be a good friend to you. I feel like I owe you an apology. Yeah. So I thought that was super nice. And, you know, I was like, oh, that's very sweet. And they had their heart-to-heart about Jen's, or Joey's mom. And then they go into the closet together, and they do their little reenactment.
That was very sweet.
Of Jaws. It was super cute. And then you see his little stuffed shark, which I thought was just adorable. Another point in Dawson's column, because I love stuffed animals.
Because you love what?
I love
stuffed animals?
I do.
Yeah, you and
But
Dawson,
Mary,
you guys have a lot in common.
Dawson and I, we just might have a great time together. Or we'd be too similar and be like, we're the same person. Sorry, Dawson.
Yeah.
I did want to say one last thing about the mom and the dad, though. I'm sorry, I meant to talk about this earlier. Listeners, I'm sorry. But what do you think? So the mom's reason I thought was very weird, because when she first brings it up, before she's like dancing around trying to get to the point, when Dawson and him and the dad are in the dining room, she's going off about wanting to be Diane Sawyer. She wished she had this really illustrious career, and she feels like she'll never have that.
Totally.
So that's established. Then later on, when the dad comes back, she says, you know, I did it because I have everything I want. I just wanted to want again. But that's kind of bullshit, because we know she doesn't have everything she wants. She doesn't have the career she really wants. She's not even getting to cover the local hurricane, which really is established it's not that dangerous. You know, like they're too far north for it to really be dangerous. So,
and when she finds out she doesn't get the hurricane, the dad says, that's good, you're home where you belong.
Yeah, him and his appendage are very happy about it.
Yeah, which I think is messed up.
Yeah, it is. It's a little messed up. So it's like, I don't know. I kind of felt like that was the case. Like I was saying before, the dad was kind of like not really making sense. Like he was contradicting himself. This was where I felt like the mom was also contradicting herself.
No, it's true. Like you don't do stuff like that if nothing's wrong. Like something is wrong, and it is that she must be feeling unfulfilled. And if Bob is getting these great stories, maybe she just wants to be closer to Bob, to be more like him.
Yeah, I think that's probably accurate. So I just wanted to point that out, because I was like, well, that's bullshit. Gotta call it out. Yeah.
Good investigation there.
I'm the real investigative reporter here, Mrs. Leary.
You are. That's true.
That's right. That's right.
So I really should have said that's pedestrian with my nose in the air, but I forgot. I didn't do it, and I'm so ashamed, because it would have been so easy to do. I don't know why I didn't do it.
Oh.
I have no excuse.
As a reminder, if you forgot from last episode, that was what I dared Mary to say this week.
Yeah.
That's so pedestrian.
I dare.
And she had to stick her nose in the air. Like a tree knob.
What if I do it this week?
And that's a bonus.
But
I remember
I get a point?
You telling me I don't get a point if I said it the following week.
But
at this point, Mary, we should
be 5.
Because we have barely made a dent in our dares.
Christine, you only have a half a point.
I have a half a point. You have 1 point. Ooh,
I have a point.
Pathetic. Yeah.
Well, we're doing a really bad job. Well,
you know,
I yours this week?
No, I'm in the same boat as you. I'm in the boat with Jen, going down the creek. I did not say
doing
either. The subtext is making me tired, which I'm sure I could have said at least like 10 times this week. I just kept forgetting. And then the other one, the rest is pornographic history. I would have had fun saying that one. It probably would have been more difficult, but I probably could have said that one too. and I did not.
Man.
So I
Oh,
think, I want to give you another challenge this week. I'm going to try my best to redeem myself. I don't care if I have to blurt it out of context. I feel like tomorrow at work, literally all my coworkers have been so exhausted that if I said something crazy, they'd just be like, "Oh, she's just tired and it's Friday." So I might just try to say something crazy. So Mary, lay it
All right,
on
well,
me.
this is what I'm going to have you say. This is something that Mitch said to Tamara. Okay?
Uh-oh.
You have to say, "Don't you cry."
Oh, he didn't say that to Tamara. He said that to the wife.
Oh, I know, I can't remember. They kind of look alike, Tamara and the
They do
Mrs.
kind
Leary.
of. They do. They have bangs and that.
There's
Yeah,
this one
they do.
scene where Dawson's walking up to Mrs. Leary, and I keep thinking he's walking up to Tamara. I'm like, why is he going to talk to her?
Oh.
Anyway. Yeah, he says it to Mrs.
So,
Leary. "Don't you cry!" But you have to
cry.
say it angrily. You can't say it in a comforting way. You have to say
Listen,
it in an
you
angry
guys
way.
said that. Oh, no.
Well, you're going to break your nice. You're not going to be Dawson anymore. You're going to be mean.
I'm so Dawson. That's going to be very hard for me. After I say it, I'll be like, "You're a good friend. I apologize." And then I'll say some really long words.
You could also say
Spielberg movie with me.
You can also say, "Mind if I sack?" Or you can say, "Just stop your punk ass whining."
Oh, that's another mean one. Ooh.
Yeah, I know. I'm giving you some hard ones.
Mary, you're going to make me mean. Oops. All right. Well, I'm going to give you one that I might just say for fun because I thought it was amazing. Mrs. Leary says this to Joey when they're sitting on the steps. Every sentence that comes to mind ends with the F word. I could definitely say that for no reason. That would just work. So that's yours.
Good.
And you better say it because that's an easy one.
Sounds good.
Don't you cry. Oh my God.
Don't you cry. Stop your punk ass whining.
So Mary, this is Dawson Cries. Maybe that's how I'll do it. Be like, I'm in a podcast called Dawson Cries. Don't you cry. It's Dawson's job. That's what I'm going to do.
Oh, God. That's such a cheesy workaround.
Well,
but we need the points. So if you can do it, then do it. Because really, we're really big losers on this game that we made up for ourselves.
Are we going to do it? I don't think so. I don't
know. I hope so.
I hope so, too.
Every sentence that comes to mind ends with the F word. There we go.
Oh. Me too, Mrs. Leary. Same.
I'll say it tomorrow at work because I don't want to be there.
Same. Me too, yeah. I would just say it for fun.
Yeah, do it.
Oh.
No points, though.
All right. No points. So listeners, I just want to shout out to, I want to give a shout out to Becca. She's been a long-time listener for all four of our podcast episodes so far. To be determined.
Great
to
listener.
This one. But if you do, we love you. We really appreciate your tweets and that you're listening every week. We love you so much.
We have such a fun time tweeting.
Yeah, we do. We really enjoy it. And you can follow us on Twitter if you're listening and you haven't followed us yet at Dawson, at Dawson Cries, WAH Dawson Cries. So hope to see you. Yeah. Hope to see you there. Thank you so much for listening. And we'll catch you next week.
Bye, listeners.
Bye. Bye, listeners.